It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Grand Valley State head tennis coach, Samantha Schall. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in college coaching in tennis?
Yeah, a lot of it was when I played college tennis myself. My coach just had such a big influence on my life. I saw what she did every day, between going to the office and working on the administrative side to then getting to go out on the court every day and train with us and travel with the team and everything. So it just seemed like something I would enjoy doing and that I would enjoy the opportunity to have the same kind of impact that she had on my life and my career.
How is it like being a college tennis player and playing for the Metropolitan State?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I moved from Arizona to Colorado, so I had the experience of just having a fresh start somewhere, but having the team around me and just being able to experience college in that way as a student athlete, it's quite a different experience than it would be if you are just like a traditional student. But it was a great experience of 4 years of college tennis there, and then I had the opportunity to launch my career there as well. So holds a real special place to me.
How is that like, as you said, launching your career at Metropolitan State after your playing career?
Yeah, so when I graduated, my coach that I played for 4 years left at the same time. So we were going to get a new head coach, and my athletic director at the time just put me in a position to recommend me to be the assistant. And so really just launched my career, and I'm grateful for her all the time that she was able to create that position and recommend me for it. So it definitely was an interesting transition going directly from being a player to an assistant coach of the men's and the women's programs. But it was a great experience, a great opportunity to learn and work and start out my career at the school that I played for that meant so much to me.
Of course, what was that feeling like getting to coach at your alma mater and being only 1 year out coaching your teammates?
Well, it was great because I felt like I could still contribute to the team and influence the program. And my experience, I think it was helpful too. I had been there for a while, so I knew how some things worked, and I knew who to ask for certain things or just how the athletic department operated. So I think it was mutually beneficial, to the program, and then for me to be able to get the experience of coaching, which is what I ultimately wanted to do.
What was the feeling like leaving your alma mater to go to Illinois Springfield for the first time as a head coach?
Yeah, that was hard. I had lived in Denver for it was 7 years then, and just built, like my home there, and my friends were all there, family was all there. So, um, it was challenging to make that decision to leave, but I wanted to be a head coach, and the opportunity came up. So when I was given it, um, I really relished the chance and got everything ready and moved to the Midwest for the first time that I had ever even been there. So yeah, it was challenging, but it was also really rewarding, and it was another opportunity to have a new experience starting fresh somewhere else.
How was that like starting your own program from scratch?
Yeah, well, the program that I inherited was it was really in a good place. The coach before me did a really great job. He was there for 2 years, but really got the ball rolling with some good recruits and set up the team culture to be really successful when I came in. So it was a really great opportunity to kind of step into a spot with the team trending in the right direction, and then just be able to build on the hard work that was already established by the previous coaching staff and the players. So it was a really great opportunity for me to again learn everything from being a head coach, to manage a team, and to find some success there as well.
How is it like from your time as a player and only playing with the women to now coaching the men's at Springfield too?
Well, when I was the assistant coach, I was the men's coach too. So that got me some good experience with managing both teams, and just maybe some of the differences in the tennis philosophy or the training philosophy. So yeah, I was able to come in with a good deal of experience, and thankfully I had a really good group of men in my program that were excited for the direction that I wanted to take it, and just did a really great job. And a couple of them are now coaching in the NCAA now too, so it's been really fun to track their careers and see how they're doing.
During your time as a head coach at Springfield, what were some of your accomplishments?
We we improved our record every year. We in my last year there, both teams ended up finishing the season with a national ranking, which was the first time that the programs had ever been nationally ranked. The women, actually, the women and the men's team made it to the postseason for the first time ever while I was coaching there. So yeah, a lot of first time experiences, and I think the team got to a pretty good place. In the last couple of years, they've continued it. The men just made it to regionals for the first time in program history. So it's been nice to see the success continue a little bit there.
Of course, during your time there, what was it like taking them to the national level and being ranked?
It felt like a big reward for a lot of hard work. You know, we had talked about that being one of our goals, is to establish a ranking and climb the ranks. So I remember when my assistant and I first saw that the ranking had come out and that we made it. It was a really rewarding feeling, really motivating the players. You know, it just kind of showed them, you know, here is evidence of the work that you put in. And even though rankings at the end of the day is not the most important thing, it was really nice to just see that recognition there.
Of course, when the Grand Valley State job opened up, what was that like getting that job and becoming their coach?
Yeah, that was also, you know, felt like a dream come true. Grand Valley is a great place to be a coach, to be a student athlete. You know, our athletics here are just across the board at the elite level. So going from what we had in Springfield, which was a great opportunity, but our facility wasn't the best, and our budget wasn't the best, and our scholarships weren't the best. And despite all that, you know, we worked really hard and we tried to do as much as we could. But the dichotomy from going from that to coming here and really feeling like you have every resource that you would need to be successful at a very, very high level. And it just feels like the ceiling, the potential is a little bit higher here. So when I got the opportunity to come here and work at the facility that we have, and have access to the weight room and the strengths coaches, and just walk through the doors and see the trophies up and down the hallway, you know, it really feels like big things are possible here.
Of course, how is that feeling like, as you said, coming to Grand Valley, taking a tour of the facility, and then obviously being announced as the head coach?
Yeah, it was an exciting time, and it wasn't easy to leave Springfield because I was really happy there and I really loved my team, and I had planned to continue with them. But I had actually said previously that if the job at Grand Valley ever opened up, that I would apply for it. I would try to get it. And so when it came up, I remember I saw that it was going to open, and when I posted, I had a decision to make. You know, am I going to try for this, or should I stay here for, you know, for a little bit longer, which is what I thought I wanted. But I went for it, and I had really good meetings on campus, and um, just had a good connection with our athletic director here, and she ended up offering me the job, and I knew immediately that it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So it's been
Of
great.
course, of course, after being announced as the new coach, what was it like starting the culture at Grand Valley?
I came in with some goals in mind for the program. They're goals that we still have. And like I said, I think that this can be a really elite program. And so in order to get to that point, we have to develop our players at an elite level and continue with recruiting, the highest level of player that we can get. And so when I got here, I let the team know we're going to train like this. We're going to train at an elite level, at a top 10 level until we get to that point. And some players, I think, they were into it and they were motivated by it. And I think there were some players that it was hard to understand, just how much work that would take and if they were committed to it. So, um, it just takes time with any kind of transition to just get to know each other, get to trust each other, and get to the point where you have, the common goals and the common understanding of what it would take to get there, and then just being consistent with that work ethic. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a process. I'm starting my fourth year now. We've got a lot of young players coming in this year, so it's like resetting it now. Really working on growing the team culture and setting us up for the most success that we can have.
How was it like in 2019 and 2022 taking the team to the conference championship?
Yeah, so my first year when I got here, the women actually played in the fall, which it ended up being lucky because the spring was COVID. So the women right away, we went through our regular season, we went to the conference championship. We lost a tough match to a good Wayne State team. So it's hard, like you get there right away and you think maybe we're going to get a championship here, but fell in a hard one. And that's happened a couple of times since. So then in 2021, the women went back to the championship. They lost a very, very tough match to Ferris. It came down to the last player on the court for like an hour. They were playing by themselves. It went to a third set and we lose a close one. So yeah, it's, you love to get there and to put your team in that position, but we're definitely still hungry to achieve that goal and to win a conference championship. So hopefully that's coming soon.
How was it like taking the men to the NCAA championship?
Yeah, so this last year was great actually for both teams. Even though we didn't go to the conference championship for the women, the men they lost in the conference championship. So they got to that final match, and then both teams actually went to the NCAA tournament, won the first round of regionals, and were playing for that last spot in the national championship. So both teams were one match away. It was awesome when we won that first match out at the regional, and you realize now you're playing for a chance to go to the championship. That's a great feeling. It's an exciting environment. Really feels like a culmination of the whole season. So it was great, and we talked about it all year. Our focus last year was having a championship mindset, and we started that in the fall. So before any important matches were played, we really tried to instill that so that when we were competing for the championship eventually and all of the big matches that we played later on in the year, it was normal. We had been thinking like that. We had been preparing like that from the beginning. So yeah, even though we didn't get it done, it was great to get there. And I think both teams are super motivated now to get back to that match and have another chance to compete to go to nationals.
Of course, what has that been like, obviously taking your team and getting them motivated to get back towards that goal of becoming a national championship?
The when you get to that point and you lose those close matches, it just sticks with you. At least for me, and I know for some of the players. So, for example, on the men's side this year, we had a really close team last year. We had a really good group of guys. They were really starting to get it. They were really starting to be motivated and come together as a program, and they did a great job. And we lost that hard match last year. Actually, we lost 3 times to Wayne State. It was closer every time we played them. They ended up losing in the national championship. So, but they'll remember it, and we've got a big group of them coming back. So I think they're not going to need a lot of motivating. Like it's there, it's like intrinsic for them, and they're really about it. So I think that's going to be fun to work with them. I think we're all like on the same page because I'm there too. I'm really motivated. For the women this year, we have 5 freshmen coming in, so it's going to be like a different team dynamic. It's going to be a lot of figuring things out and learning the first year. So they're going to be, I think, motivated for a different reason. When you're a freshman, everything's so exciting and so fun, and you're going through it for the first time, and you're just like going for it. You're going all out because you're a freshman. You're trying to prove something. and be a good teammate and all of that. So I think it's going to be like a different dynamic on my teams this year, but I think both of them are going to be really motivated, and I'm going to, enjoy seeing them put in the work because of that.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've built and the winning culture that you have built so far?
Yeah, it's something that we try to talk about and to grow with. Like I said, we have our goals that we focus on, and it's on the court and it's off the court. Um, it's great to be at Grand Valley because it's kind of instilled, like if you come to be a student athlete at Grand Valley, you get it. You know that we win the Directors Cup every year, and that the standard is really high, the expectation is high, but also you get like you have the resources, you get what you need to be successful. So then it's up to you. But no, it's important, and we do some things. We try to come together as a team. We try to be together, on the court, off the court, physically, mentally. We do a lot of things to try to support, and the players can just see that we're there for them, and we're trying to think about them, and we're trying to put them in the best position. And so I think that helps us all to come together to have that shared goal.
Who are some of the teams that you face each week in the tennis match?
We play in the GLIAC. So we play teams like Wayne State, like I said, we play Ferris State, and those are have been very competitive programs the last couple of years. So it seems like the three of us are always battling it out for the top spot. But there are some other good teams in our conference as well. So we have the Upper Peninsula teams. We have Michigan Tech. We have Lake Superior State, who are always strong. We have Saginaw Valley. We have Purdue Northwest. There's a couple others, but it's good. And then the Midwest region is good too. So we try to play a really tough, regional schedule and a tough national schedule. And so we're traveling to play the best teams and to get the best competition.
What does a typical tennis match look like?
So we play doubles and singles. We play doubles first. 3 doubles matches will go on at once, and whoever wins a majority of those matches gets 1 point for their team. And then singles is on after that. We play 6 singles matches, each match being worth 1 point. So the first team to get to 4 points will win the overall match.
Of course, during the tennis match, is it an all-day event or do you go for half the day?
It depends on a lot of factors. It depends on how many courts we have, what the venue is like. But a typical tennis match, if we have 6 courts to play it on, would be about 3 hours. And then if you're playing on, you have to rotate and share the courts, then you would be playing for like 4.5 or 5 or 6 hours. So it's kind of hard to know what's typical, but it is kind of an all-day event sometimes, it feels like.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to go into tennis?
Well, it really depends. We have a lot of American recruits and we have a lot of international recruits. So it's probably a different story for both of them. The international kids, a lot of times they use recruiters. So their recruiter company agency will contact us, put us in touch. We think that this could be a good fit. But you can always reach out yourself. We have players, Americans or internationals, that are reaching out, sending emails, introducing themselves, sharing their ratings, their rankings. And then we're also proactive with our recruiting. So in West Michigan, we have a ton of really good tournaments in the summer. So we'll go out and watch some players compete, contact them once the tournament's over if we like what we see, or start to build a relationship with them. So yeah, it's really good though to reach out and to contact coaches that you might be interested in playing for, and then they can start to track your progress and follow you.
How is it like, obviously in tennis, as you said, you have international recruits and domestic recruits. What is that like, and what are some of the things that you look at in those prospective student athletes?
Well, it's great to have the kind of mix that we have, where we have, sort of some built-in diversity, having players from all over the world. And it's awesome to see, just to see them come together and become friends and sort of unite over tennis. We have 3 international kids right now that just got here, one from Mexico, one from Germany, and one from Ukraine. And they're all at orientation, like hanging out and making friends right now. So it's great to bring them together and have this kind of shared bond about tennis, and then they get here and they're committed. Our international students who make the decision move to another country and kind of move their whole lives around. Usually they're pretty into tennis and they're pretty motivated for it. And then yeah, that's about it.
How does the prospective student athletes, once they're on the official visit, what does it look like when they're on the official visit?
Well, a big part of that would be practicing with us. We really like to have them do a session with our team so they can see what a normal training session will be like. They can see what the level of the team is like, how they fit into it. And then, of course, we can see them play too and kind of see how their level compares. So we really like doing that on our official visits. And then the rest of it can be, something fun. We can go have them go to a game here at Grand Valley. If they can catch a football game, that's always great. Maybe they'll even go to class with one of our students. They can see what a normal class is like. We might have them stay in the dorms so that they can spend more time with the team and see what that's all about. So normally they're here for like about a day or a day and a half, and we're trying to get as much done as we can, and also spend a lot of time with them. I try to see our recruits a lot, go to dinner with them, go to lunch. Get to know them and their family because that's really our chance to see if they're going to be a good fit for our team and our team culture.
What are some of your future plans for the Grand Valley tennis program?
Well, I keep talking about our goals and we're still, serious about achieving them. So, I hope to win a conference championship soon, but I also, more importantly, like I hope to go to nationals and to get the team to experience that and then hopefully get back every year. But I really do think that this can be a top 10 program here. So we are just still making progress towards that.
What advice would you give those prospective student athletes looking to go into college tennis?
I tell student athletes that are getting ready to head to college, just play as much as you can, but compete as much as you can. There's no substitute for the matches that you play leading up to college because it really gets you ready to play, bigger, faster, stronger, smarter players that have more experience at the college level. So yeah, I think it's really important to be competing a lot heading into your college days.
What what advice would you give those college players that are looking to go professionally and play professional tennis?
Then it's really just about like committing to it and training, training hard, training different, like doing the extra things. And then similarly going to compete, they have tournaments, money tournaments all over the place. So you can actually go and, even if you're not on the professional tour, you can go and make a living at it if you're playing the right tournaments and if you're playing well enough. So but it's a lot of hard work and it takes a toll. I think professional tennis with the schedule that they play is one of the harder sports to sort of make it professionally in.
What advice would you give those coaches that are looking to get started in coaching and even one day become head coaches such as you have?
Yeah, I think get just when you're an assistant coach, like get an opportunity to work for somebody that you want to learn from, but then try to take in as much of it as you can. So not just doing the on-court stuff, but if you can go to the office and learn how to take care of the budget or learn how to do recruiting or learn just how to like manage player issues. Those are the things that you feel like you're ready when you're an assistant coach, getting ready to transition. But when you're doing everything and you're making every decision, it's just different. So learning as much as you can, not just like the on the court stuff. Because I think most of us that get into coaching, we've got that. We've been to the practices and we've run them and we've been to the matches, but there's a lot that goes into it that people don't really see. So if you've never seen that and you're trying to be a head coach, I think that would be challenging. But if you can get a lot of experience with that when you're an assistant, that's the key to being successful when you make that change.
What advice would you give those head coaches that are looking to get started and coach a program?
Yeah, then it's like use your network, find out who on campus or like who in the office is gonna help, who to go to for when you have questions. But yeah, don't always try to feel like you got to figure it out on your own. Use your resources. And when I was in Springfield, it was a really great place for they hired a lot of first time coaches. There was a lot of support. There was a lot of, supervision. It wasn't like micromanaging, but it was like support. We knew that they were there if we needed to figure something out. So that was really invaluable. So if you don't have that on your campus, I know that there are coaches out there that will just be wanting help. So have somebody that you can call up when your player does this crazy thing and you don't know how to handle them, or when, just the things come up in your first year that are a little bit different for you. Try to have somebody to call on. Use your network like that.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Grand Valley State Tennis Program app?
Yeah, well, it's just Grand Valley State Tennis on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then I'm Samantha Schall on all three of those as well.
Thank you again, Coach Samantha Schall, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Grand Valley State.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Samantha Schall, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.